Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, yeah, 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 yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Current affairs. Reliable information. History. Ooh. Talking about culture. Politics. Education. Entertainment. Business. Sports. Advertisement. Articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony Seard, and a pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. We are live on Kia Radio 95.9 FM. Focus on Liberia is a program on 95.9 FM Kia Radio in Liberia. In today's edition of our program, we are looking at the International Day of the Girl Child. In celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child, we have set up this show to talk about everything the girl child. You know, coming up, having sisters, and even trying to picture my mother being a girl before becoming the woman that will bring me on this earth. I don't think there's anything that is more significant than the girl child. And then even if you look at nation building, the girl child plays a very important role. So a day being set aside and dedicated to recognizing the significance of the girl child, the contribution of the girl child, what the girl child will become, the challenges of the girl child. I am thrilled to be here to have a conversation on a very national level about the International Day of the Girl Child. The focus will be on the challenges and the role the girl child plays in the human community. With me to discuss this is my smart producer, the man James Walkway, there in studio at Kia Radio 95.9. James, good afternoon there. How you doing? How's family? We are here to discuss and celebrate the Girl Child. It's International Day of the Girl Child Celebration Program today. How you doing? Unmute, James. Unmute.
So again, I'm fine, and the family is good. Everything is okay. Thank God. And I'd like to say welcome to our guest today as we look forward to a wonderful discussion here. And I'd like to say also welcome to our listeners both online and via the radio.
Thank you. In today's edition, we have a special guest. She's an advocate on women and girls issue, and we will be hearing from her on the importance of the International Day of the Girl Child. Damoa Bofa is an advocate. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, Antoine. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I'm very optimistic about what we are going to discuss today that is going to reach out to the community, and people aren't going to take this message very light. We expect that the community will understand what we are saying when we say we are advocate for girls and women, and what does that mean for the community. So I'm glad and excited to be here on the show.
Thank you. Let's get into the discussion right away. We want to welcome our viewers, both on Facebook and YouTube, and also our loyal listeners on the radio. Welcome. This is an important discussion. If you are listening, you must be a girl or you must be a woman. If you are listening, you must be a man or a boy and have a sister. And so this discussion is important. Let's get started. International Day of the Girl Child. Uh, so what do you think is important to have? Why do you think it is important to have a global day dedicated specifically to girls? Do you think that is important?
The International Day of the Girl Child, it is set aside by the United Nations
Mhm.
to celebrate girls' children all around the world. And why is it important? This day is every year on October 11. It's observed all around the world. And globally, it is important that we celebrate this day because we advocate for girls' rights in addressing significant issues such as education, health, safety, empowerment, justice, and so many things that are affecting girls. So many a times people see these things happening in the community, they don't talk about it. And we cannot continue to bury the issues or the challenges that girls are facing in the communities. So on this day, we highlight the issues, and not just the issues, but the progress they are also making, and also we hear their stories and their voices. What is happening to them? How far are they going? And what are the impacts of our work on these girls? So that's why we always observe the International Day of the Girl Child every year to highlight these issues concerning health, education, safety, empowerment, and also justice.
And so, what does the International Day of the Girl Child mean to you personally? Obviously, before becoming the woman you are today, you were a girl, and it's obvious you have come so far. So, looking at the International Day of the Girl Child, what does that mean to you personally as an advocate?
As an advocate, it is important to see a dream coming to pass.
Okay.
Upon reflecting on my own childhood experiences as a girl, I recognize, a profound significance, a strong significance of this observation. So it
Mhm.
wasn't just something that just came about. It's like you had a dream And after so many years, you see this dream coming to pass. Because growing up as a girl, I encounter societal expectations, that frequently restricted my opportunities and also my autonomy. And what does that mean is that culturally, there were so many limitations. As a girl growing up in Lofa, I was born in Lofa and I grew up there. So there is a strong traditional practice that every girl child from Lofa had to go through. And I went through that, which is the Sunday bush. And imagine during those days before the war, you had to be there for like 2 years, 2 consecutive years before you graduate and come out. So let's say if you were in the first grade at the time and you had to go to the bush school for 2 years. So just tell me how many years have already gone by and you're already lagging behind 2 or 3 classes. So your male counterparts, they are already ahead of you 3 steps. And you were like coming from there and trying to get back to school, or sometimes school is not even possible. The only thing most of the girls, the dreams and aspiration from the parents will be getting married and having children. So school is no more an alternative for you. But for me, my grandmother, her name that I carried, Damowa Bofa, is strictly my grandmother's name. She was a powerful force behind who I am today. And also going down to my mother. My mother was also a strong fighter, saying that yes, even though society has this expectation about girls, my girls are already going through this, but they won't stop being educated. I'm going to try my best to get them back to school, and they will go to school. They're not going to get married at an early stage. Most of my friends, they got married at an early stage, like 12 years, 13 years, and some of them were like, as soon as you are from there, some of them were like 7 years old, 8 years. So they were already engaged. And most of the men at the time, they were already waiting for them to receive their brides. So if the girl is 7 years and she already has a suitor at the time, then education is nothing. It's no alternative for that girl. But my grandmother and my mother, they really stood strong to have us, not just I alone, but my other sisters in school. Even though I was really older when I started the ABC, I still remember when I graduated from K2, I was big. I still remember, and that remembrance brought me to a scar on my left leg that I got hurt in the classroom. And up to now, sometimes I just show it to somebody and say, when I was in the K2, I got hurt in the classroom. So I still remember that. And I was big when I was in the first grade. So these are some of the things that for me personally, when I reflect on, I consider this day to be very important for me and for other girls, because it's like a dream coming true. Those things that were hidden in the darkness, we are unearthing them so that the community will be aware, girls will be aware that they are not alone. We are in solidarity with them, and also encourage the community to wrap their hands around these girls, to embrace their dreams and aspiration for the betterment of our nation, Liberia.
Thank you. You explain about the barriers and the challenges, both traditionally and also that society, has set in place, so to speak, for girls. And then you also talk about empowerment, your mother standing there by you and making sure that you will go far, that you will come to realize your full potential, irrespective of the challenges along the way. And here you are today. My question is, how has that empowerment, how important it is for every gay child today that you want to share with every girl who listening and who will be listening, every father, every brother, every parent listening today? The significance of empowerment in the face of challenges for the girl child. How profound it is that you want to share so that somebody can say, okay, I'm going to give up because the mother did not give up, her mother did not give up.
Sure. So it all comes to determination, resilience. It's very important that we talk about that. Sometimes in the family, I understand that girls go through a lot of things, including rape, including sexual harassment, and so many other things, exploitation, and sometimes they lose hope. In my case, so many things happened to me as a child, and some of them are very confidential. I'm not yet ready to share that story.
Okay, done.
Yes, in the future, I will share that story, but I'm not yet ready to share that story. And so just think about all of the, or most of the challenges that girls go through. They all came on my lap. And yet today, I was able to move forward. How did this happen? So when the war came, my mother, she did not give up. She kept telling us that, hey, you guys can go further. Whatever it is, if we get to one display camp, if there is a school, you can continue your education. And that what happened. So we shifted from one place to another. The entire 14-year war that happened in Liberia, we did not leave the country. So it was like shifting from Lofa to Monrovia. And while we were in Monrovia, we shifted again to displaced camps. And in the display centers, we have NGOs helping and other international groups helping to put the lives of people together because it was already shattered. And why then she would tell us, hey, it's good to take advantage of the school here. So I will go to school. My sisters will also go to school. So we did not give up. There was nothing in our book that said give up. So we stood strong until we completed high school. I completed high school in 2001 and also immediately went to college. So because of so many other limitations that we already talked about, I did not complete college until 2007. It took long years because my mother had no money. By the time she was already working with another NGO who would just give her food at the end of the month. They would just give her food, no money, and then that food would transfer that into money for other to serve the needs of other place. And what happened, I started going to school and went to college. So I joined a group on campus, one of the political groups on campus. That was AMEU at the time. And I got scholarship and continued my education. So during those days, Ministry of Education, they were lagging behind. Sometimes they were lagging behind when it comes to paying the fees of students at the university. So sometimes we were saying, or the school was saying, all of the students on the government scholarship, we're not going to enroll you guys this semester. So that semester is a no-go for me. Sometimes I was sent and not go to school, but I did not give up because I had the vision of impacting other girls to wake up, impacting other girls to see themselves as human, as valuable people in a community. So with that in mind, I pushed until I graduated in 2007. I got my degree and I
Great.
started working.
Great, great. How amazing is that? And before I get to James here, we'll have a few questions for you too. So looking back today and reflecting on today's, the International Day of the Gay Child that we are reflecting, a day set aside by the United Nations to reflect on the challenges, the triumph, and everything of the girl child. As you reflect today and you look at the challenges you went through, and you are very knowledgeable about challenges today's girls are facing. I mean, someone may argue that even today challenges are more tougher than many years ago. I mean, it can be an argument. But my question to you is, do you think there is hope for the girl child? Should the girl child have reason to give up or not give up, given the challenges the Liberian girl child is facing today?
No, no girl has a reason to give up, because during those days, before, let's say before and during the war, we never saw a lot of services around us today, like awareness, people raising awareness concerning the issues that girls are faced with. Unlike today, there are so many people or services that are accessible by these
Mhm.
girls, even though most of these services are not adequate enough to cater to them. Take, for example, we have schools around. Before then, yes, we had schools, but they weren't accessible as it is now. So
Okay.
we even think about our mothers, our and during those days, our mothers, our grandmother, they never had access to school. But girls today have access to education. But then access to education, there is still a barrier. You have access to education, but what is stopping you from accessing education, especially the formal education, in the formal education? So it is important to understand that. And then another thing is the awareness. People are raising more awareness concerning what girls are faced with now. Unlike during those days, you wouldn't find it like this. So somebody would say, okay, this girl is going through a problem. It's now time that we understand what is happening and see how best she can go to school and become better person in the society. But during those days, it will be like, you know what, girls, I don't think it is important for you to attend formal education. It is only important that you get married and have children. Unlike today, girls have choices. They can decide to get married. They can decide to have children or not to have children. They can also decide to say, you know what, I'm going to become who I want to be. And they can strive for that. And there are people in a way to help. It may not be all the girls, it may not be all the girls, but some of the girls are already having these opportunities available to them.
Thank you. Well, James, unmute, James, unmute.
Okay, so you talk about a lot of things, and I'd like to thank you for your introduction. But there are reports that I'd like to quote quickly for you before I ask my question. In between 2019 and 2020, according to the Afro Barometer, it says the statistics show that violence against girls and women in Liberia, according to the Demographic Health Survey, indicated that 60% of women aged between 15 to 49 years have experienced physical violence. And also, the United Nations Women Data Hub also said in 2018, 26.9% of women aged 15 to 49 years reported that they had been subjected to physical or sexual violence. So, with all of these stats coming up from different reports, how will you describe firstly the report and how does it contribute or impact the lives of Liberian girls and maybe women by extension?
Uh, I want to say something. 10 years ago, that data was a different story. But now the data is accumulating. And this is a serious concern. This is a serious concern. There is no woman, there is no girl that had not faced violence in her life. It is important that these data come up so that people can be aware that yes, These are things that are happening to girls, and it needs the attention of everyone, including the government, including the parents, the teachers, the community dwellers or community local authorities. It needs the attention of everyone, because with this data, let's say you have 60% now. In 10 years, how would that data be? In 10 years, it's going to climb higher and higher. And what is contributing to this data coming up, or accumulating every year, is because the attention is not given to where the solution's supposed to be. So the girls, if you sit with them, they will tell you these are our problems and we think these are the solution. So if everybody follow the solution that girls are seeking, then the numbers will reduce. The numbers already reduced. So let's talk about justice. If you talk about rape, how often people uh, are held responsible for rape? So most of the time, you will see compromising taking place. People compromise because they don't want to fall into trouble. Oh, if I don't do this, this person is a big man. Like Liberian people would say, this person is in higher authority. If I do not compromise, my life will be in danger. Take, for example, a girl is raped and she went to the hospital. I've been in a hospital where they even demean the girl or bully her for getting raped. And we had to step in and say, no, this has to stop. It has to stop. And that's how we contributed to the decision that the rape cases should be treated as emergency cases and not just treated in an ordinary manner. So we contributed to that decision. And today in Liberia, I think it's still working. So most of these things that are happening, we fear that the numbers will keep going up and up if something is not in place. If the solutions that the girls are opting for, if the solutions are not in place, the numbers will keep going higher and higher. First, it used to be 1 out of 5 girls, but now even the UN report say 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. So it's no longer 1 out of 5. So the ratio there is imbalanced. You can see the gap already.
Okay, so the next question is there are you talk about a lot of barriers. Let's talk about the education of opportunities that are available to Liberian girls. So how will you assess that, considering the barriers that you mentioned? How accessible to girls, or what are some barriers girls still feels in accessing quality education in this current dispensation, considering all of the things that are happening?
So in the education system, we first want to look at the adequate education system. Is this system in Liberia serving everyone? We also look at the curriculum. The curriculum, how structural it is to serve the students. And then we also look at each school, whether it's a private school or the government school or community school. Look at the data, the enrollment. When school is opening, everybody go and register, right? So after first period or first semester, what happens to the numbers? Who are more attending school than the other? So who are retaining that school? The, over the last few weeks, I watched a news on LOFA about LOFA, where they gave us statistics and they were imploring people who have made a GPA of 3.9, 4 points from the community college there. And all of the 14 students that were showcased on the social media, they were all boys. and I made a comment. Where are the girls? What happened to the girls? So not because it is that part of the country, but if you see similar thing happening there, then it means that they are also happening in other cities or in other communities in Liberia. So when it comes to the education aspect, we look at the structure. We also look at the curriculum. We also look at the access to advancement, like library. If you give a student if you give student assignment and you expect them to bring that assignment in a week, or you expect them to bring that assignment in 3 days, and they don't have access to library, access to reading materials or research materials, how are they going to complete that assignment and bring it? Most of the time, the girls are the ones that will suffer, because if they don't have access to these learning materials, the end of the day, they get back to the teacher and say, I did not do my assignment. And then the teacher will say, okay, you want to make a pass. You want to get to the next class. So if you did not bring my assignment, you know what you will bring. And then sexual harassment, sexual assault, and so many things happen to that girl because she wants to get to the next class. She wants to see her dream coming to pass. So there are still barriers. Even, even when the resources are available, there are still barriers to girls getting full education. So let's take, for example, I watch many girls graduating from high school, and I was impressed, right, with the level they had come from, and achieving their goals of completing high school. That was also something. It was a big win for me. Despite the challenges, it was a big win for me because when the girl child gives up in school, there is no way that you can encourage that girl to go back to school. It's difficult. She loses hope, and she feels that there is no one that will help her to get to where she wants to be. And that alone can be a limitation for her. So if she graduates, whether she speaks good English or not, whether she gives better speech during her graduation program, I mean, it's all boiled down to how she went to school. But you cannot bully her because you don't know her story. You don't know what she went through. You cannot bully her. The only thing is continue to encourage her and celebrate every win that she had accomplished. So with that, we can see that girls will move forward. And it also had to do with the support of the parents, the local government. So how often are they completing assessment or survey? How often are they going to these schools to find out what's happening? Even what also limits the girl child from going to school is when she having her period. She doesn't have power to continue going to school for that 5 days or 6 days, depending on the longevity of her period. You will not find her in school because she doesn't have power. So she has to stay home to manage what is happening to her, which is natural. And sometimes she in school, she has the power on, but she just doesn't feel like being in school because her body is changing in that moment. And when she leaves school for that day, the teacher fails her because he doesn't understand what goes on with the girl child. So in a school, the teacher, some of the teachers pregnant the girls, which also impedes their progress in school. The students, also the male students, some of them impregnate the girls. It
Yeah,
also
yeah.
impedes them going
Not
to
to
school.
cut you off, just shortly, I remember a report came out from Lofa County that I think over 15 girls dropped out of high school because of pregnancy.
Yes. And that number is just some spotlight that came about. But check around Liberia. So many things, so many of that incidents are happening to these girls. And you'll find out that there will be no repercussion for the boys, but the girls will sit and not go to school. So after 9 months, she stays sitting because she has to breastfeed her baby and make sure that baby is well situated before she even think about going to school. And sometimes it's even impossible for her to continue. She gets discouraged. So I really want to appreciate the CBOs, which is the community-based organizations, and also the non-governmental organizations that are going into these places, that are working with these girls to ensure that they get a better life, because it's not an easy journey all girls are on. I've been there and I understand the journey. So to see me here today and also talking about the things that girls are faced with is very, very important. There came a time when I was in school. I did my best. I really, really did my best to pass a course. But yet still, when I got a C, the professor wanted to sleep with me. And I couldn't do that because of my integrity, my body, and so many things. So if it was happening to me, then think about other girls, even in college, at the college level, it's still going on. So if girls are pregnant and there are no policy in place to help these girls to continue their school, girls will always be lacking behind. They'll always be lacking behind because it's like, oh, it's a taboo for a girl to go and sit among her friends with pregnancy. It's a taboo for a girl to sit and breastfeed. In the United States, here, even in college, people are in school, in colleges, and they're still breastfeeding. Some are even in their offices and breastfeeding their babies in the offices. So why? Why, can pregnancy stop a girl child from achieving her dreams and aspiration? I don't see it being necessary. Even if the girl is pregnant, she should go to school.
So how can families, communities, become allies in empowering the girls, especially in the area of education, and at the same time trying to minimize as much as possible these barriers and challenges and abuses that these girls face while they are in school?
My greatest or primary advice to parents is that, you see, the family, I'm also interested in family. The family is the first unit of the society, and if the family has so much to do. But if the family is disempowered, how are they going to even help their children? You find out that this mother or this father did not go to school, or they don't even have a job. How are they going to help their girl child? Let's focus on the girl child. How are they even going to help their girl child to move further? At the end of the day, it's is going to be the same cycle of poverty. It's going to be the same cycle of poverty, and there will be nobody in that family to break that cycle, because that girl is going to have children, and also the children that she will have, the same thing that happened to her parents or happened to her is also going to happen to her children if she doesn't take care. So so many people have part to play in the girl child life. Today, girl child day, we ready. We're not talking about boys. I understand. You already want to talk about boys here. Yes, but we ready focusing on the girls, because if you look at the statistics, the marginalization of girls are higher than the boys. So it's an issue, it's a concern. So everywhere you see the normal racing against one gender is where we focus. So we would rather not be talking about the boys because their rate is not significant in this matter. So we sorry if we don't talk about the boys. Yeah, so we are biased when it comes to the girls right now. So in the family has a part to play when it comes to fostering the education or fostering the betterment of a girl child. And if the family is already faced with problems, then it's an issue. It's an issue. But holistically, this is for the public. It's for boys, it's for girls, it's for the parents, it's for the local authorities, it's for the government, and you name it. Everybody, if you are a human living in a community, this message is for everybody. So if everybody come together, things will be better to handle issues concerning one gender that is affected.
Thank you. So, in your view, what does true empowerment for girls look like beyond the slogan and speeches and advocacy? Tell me when we're talking about true empowerment for the girl. For you, what does it look like?
True empowerment looks like a cycle.
Okay.
Yes, it looks like a cycle. So you cannot say girls empowerment without providing the resources that the girls need. If the resources are not available, then that means there is no empowerment. Yes, you will give them the education, you will create the awareness, you will call the focus group discussion, and girls will tell you what their needs are, what their challenges are. But if you just leave them like that, yes, they understand that rape is rape is traumatic, and if they get raped, these are things that are going to happen to them. They understand all those things, but what is going to prevent them from being raped? We look at the law enforcement. We look at the policies in place. So empowerment is just not looking at the monetary aspect. It's not just looking at the monetary aspect. If you create the awareness, you need to follow up how well that awareness that you have created or the message that you have sent forth, how well is it impacting the lives of girls? So empowerment, you start first with awareness, with education. As they get that education, then you can come in with other resources like giving them businesses to do, and let's say it's something to do to revolve their income, to bring them income. Most of the time, as a mentor also and as a life coach, I always tell these young girls, if you are not ready to have babies, it's okay. But wait until you are ready to have babies. Because if you are not empowered enough to help your babies or help your children, it's going to be a problem for them also. So wait until you see yourself in a better position where you can also cater to your children. Then you can have you can say, okay, let me have children. Then I will be able to help them go to school. But sometimes, yes, they want to have children. The urge is there. They want to build their families. You cannot stop them. But you can also encourage and support them in a way that they will be empowered, income coming in, even their skills. How often do we even ask them, hey, how well can you do this? So when I was growing up, people always used to say, you wear one clothes over and over, and then we see that you also sew that clothes on you. Yes, I would sit or stand, get the needles and the thread, and sew a clothes on me. It was a skill for me. And when I was growing up, there were arts and craft in school, subjects in school. So I used to be really interested in doing arts and craft. And today we see on the internet so many people are innovating just little things that they do by themselves, and they make money out of that. But where are the resources? If the girl says that, yes, I want to do something for myself. I want to do a business, or I have this idea that or this skill that I want to foster and I want to advance in. You will find out in the community, people will say, "You're not ready yet. I don't think your dream will come to pass. I don't think that's something everybody's suffering in the country here. So where you think you will go with your idea, where you think you will go with your dream, it's not going to happen." That sometimes many of the girls say to me, I want to finish school in Liberia, but I don't want to go to college in Liberia because I won't get the kind of support because I want to be a pilot. And there is no school for that in Liberia. So you
Yeah.
see, They have the ambition, but then the resources are not there.
Talking about everybody playing um, their role in helping to support the girl child succeed. Let's bring in the men and the boys, right? Because this is serious. So my question is, what role do boys and men, play in advancing the rights, the dignity of the girl, and even protecting the girl child to succeed? What role should the men and the boys play? Because quite too often, it's either a man who is abusing this girl, taking advantage of her. It could be a man in a position of power. It could be that boy with handsome speed who is using a charm. And then you and James were talking about the pregnancy report that came out of Lofa the other day. All right, how many girls dropped out of school because of pregnancy? Those girls were impregnated by men and boys, and that brought to a halt their empowerment in terms of access to formal education. So, what role can the boys and the men play, especially the powerful men and the handsome boys who causing this trouble?
Okay,
And I hope James
so
is not one of those boys causing trouble.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Okay.
all right. So when it comes to, I know many people are concerned. Yeah, even though today we say it's for girls, but many people are concerned when it comes to the boys and the men, because most of the time they are the either the alleged perpetrators or they are the perpetrators most of the times. So we're not just speaking because that's how we see it. No, there are facts. There are statistics and numbers that can prove that yes, they are either the alleged or the perpetrators. Now, when it comes to the boys and the men rules in supporting these girls to move forward or girls empowerment, it's very important. Number one, they can uh, get involved in campaign activities or awareness. And when they see some events happening in the community regarding girls, they have to get involved. Like to understand what happening to these girls that we are taking advantage of and how can we help. So the help is that not just what I would say, not just help like you are feeling sorry for the girls, but getting involved to say that they are humans and these things shouldn't be happening to them. We shouldn't be um we shouldn't be doing stuff to them that are not okay because they are also human. So public awareness, they need to get involved. And then advocacy for policies, they also need to get involved. So policy making, making sure that the lawmakers in the various communities are doing what they need to do or what they promise the community. So they also need to get involved with that. So when campaigns, political campaigns are ongoing, they also need to take a bold step for the girls and advocate for them. Yes, this is your platform. You say you are for the community. We want to see what you're going to do specifically for the girls, what you're going to do specifically for the women, because our women are here. They are holding our community, and our desire is for all of us to be on par. It's for all of us to move forward because when everybody is involved, the community will grow, the community will be better. So these are some of the things that they need to get involved in. Getting the education, because if you don't get an education that you are harming somebody and there is a law that says do not harm another person, otherwise you will be punished. And you get that education and don't do anything about it. But then later on, you go and grab 5 years old and harm them. You go and grab 7 years old and harm them. So the only thing is to get your punishment by the rule of law. Yes, so the education part, they need to get involved. Community events, they need to get involved. And they also need to get involved in investing in education. when there's a school around there, how, they also need to move to get connected to that school and ask questions concerning how everyone is doing in the school, both boys and girls. Hey, can we? I mean, they have the right to do so. Can we get the number of girls in your school? Can we get the number of boys in your school? How many enrollment? How many people enroll in the school, and how many people you think will graduate? And those that will not graduate, why? They start to get all the little issues and gaps, and create awareness around that. So it's not like feeding sorry, it's like getting involved.
Let everybody get involved with
Yeah.
the issues and empowerment of the girl child. Oh, James?
Yeah, so I have just so maybe before we conclude on the issue of education, with the emergence of the internet, for example, you have Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, all of these, social media platforms. And in fact, we now have AI now taking over all of these things. How can these, the internet or social media be used in creating opportunities for girls in Liberia or in the world?
All right. So it's very important. Well, places like Liberia, we understand that some of the girls are already moving forward when it comes to the internet or technology, but not everyone. Yeah, you can see a girl on social media, she dances well. I remember when I was in the bush school, they taught her how to dance, they taught her how to beat the salsa and play local instruments. They also taught her how to braid hair. And they taught us how to do so many things with our hands. So not just going to the bush school, but the the educative part of it, I think it was important. If we can maintain that, that would be okay. So today, if a girl decides and say, "Hey, I would just want to do braiding," she has a skill, and she can use the internet to boost her business, braid her hair, showcases on social media, and tell people that yes, I have a skill and I want to attract customer to my business. And with that, people will start to get connected. She doesn't have to go from place to place looking for customer. So she can use the social media, she can use the internet to boost her business or her talent. There are so many girls who knows how to dance, and some of them know how to make clothes. We see that happening, and some of them, they are so crafted to the extent that just by making jokes through the internet, they don't have to call entire community to come and hear them out. They can just get on the internet and attract people to what they are doing. So through that, even the internet can also foster people businesses and give them income for just your talent or your skill. But how many of these girls understands that? How many understand? It just some of them just post because they wear new clothes today, or they just feel happy to post. So many of them, they need that boost. That yes, you can do this and showcase it to the world, and people will find you. So the internet has a significant role to play when it comes to women empowerment or girls empowerment.
Thank you. Let me follow up on Jean's question. So there are some who hold they believe that the way some girls and women carry themselves uh, send out the wrong message about who they are. Now, I don't entirely agree. I mean, more so to the point where somebody want to take advantage of a girl or a woman because of the way the person communicate about themselves on social media. So, but my question is, does it matter how the girl child uses social media to communicate with the outside world? Is that important, or it shouldn't matter? And the other aspect is there are a lot of people on social media in our Liberian community, to be specific, that really carry themselves in way that really don't represent the Liberian girl and the Liberian woman. Is that something that you can speak to?
Yeah, I will throw a little light on that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the usage of social media,
Mm-hmm.
is open. And I mean, open media, you can expect anything to happen. It's also important that the demand of whoever their followers are, you also have to take that into consideration. I may carry myself better in the community or in other spaces, but on social media, I'm a different person altogether because of the demand. So if that is a way that somebody think that they can use social media to get more popular or to get comfort, because most of what is happening, there are abuse of social media also. Let's take into consideration there are abuse of social media. Social media is there to connect people around the world in so many ways and dimensions, but also people can abuse social media, and women are not exempted from that. So to have a strong social media presence, it depends on what you want to give out to the public. If I just come quiet and cool, maybe nobody will follow me. If I talk about, many a time we hear people saying, if you come with productive things, the educating the public, creating awareness, people will follow you. And I tested that, and I mean, it may not be exact, but I tested some truth in it. And then other people were saying, if you come wild on social media, come aggressive on social media and talk about things that people rarely talk about, you know, you will get more followers because that's what people want to hear. People want to get that comfort. People want to laugh because there are issues that are buried within their mind, and they just want to laugh it out. So they look for things that will entertain them just to carry on their day. But notwithstanding, people also abuse social media, including women.
Thank you. James?
Yeah, so we come to the issue of advocacy because this has been one of the things that Liberians we see most women are involved with in order to push, the issue of women empowerment, gender equality, and so forth. So, how can we amplify the voices of girls in decision making processes or spaces using advocacy and activism?
Yeah. So advocacy and activism, they are already key tools that amplify the empowerment of women. And one of the ways that we can foster these areas is by supporting what the local communities are doing. There are so many grassroots organizations owned by Liberian women, and they also understand that these issues are they are significant, and they understand that yes, there need to be something put in place. Awareness is very, very important, because without awareness, people wouldn't have the education, people wouldn't know what to do. But with the awareness, people understand what to do next. So support and donate to these organizations and foster their work in their community, in the communities where they work. But if they just go in the community and say, hey, we came to conduct workshop, and I saw that happening. If you just want to impact the lives of people through workshop or through some form of education, people will say just by sitting down You have to pay me for it. So how can we change that narrative? Every workshop you have to pay people. Every workshop you have to give them stipend. How can we erase that mindset and accept the education as a future betterment for your community or for yourself? So that's one of the things. If we donate to these organizations, you can be somebody in the community, you can be a Liberian. You don't have to be living abroad before you support these organizations. You don't have to be rich before you support these organizations. Not everything is money. But I'm in this community. How can I be an ally to you? How can I foster your work? Get to them, ask them. And with that, holistically, everybody can contribute to the work of advocacy in the communities.
Yeah, so one of the things that people talk about a lot is, for example, in the workspaces, professional environment. You'll notice that if they put up a vacancy for a job, and then a girl or woman apply for that particular job, and then after the process is and thing, the people who are over it, maybe one of the guys, they will say, "Oh, before you get the job, you are qualified, you are competent, and you know all of the things we need. You have them, but you have to do one thing to get this job, and that is to maybe go out with me, and do something like that. Does it matter or does it mean anything to you, or how do you see that in our society as women apply or seek to empower themselves through the professional spaces or offices in Liberia?
Yeah, that is important. It's also part of our advocacy work. So we see equality of opportunities, especially in education, in empowerment, job seeking, wages. There are a lot of inequalities when it comes to that. And this is why we are here speaking, we are here advocating. The woman graduates, or maybe she has the skill without even going to college. Maybe she has the skill. If she cannot meet the requirement, then let her know that yes, you don't meet the requirements, and these are the requirements we needed. If she doesn't meet that, there shouldn't be no further negotiation. But you see the woman, she's capable of doing the job. She's professional, you know, and she knows how to do the work. She's capable of doing it. Then you tell her that yes, even though, or you don't even tell her it's in your mind, but because you want to sexually harass her, you let her know that you don't merit this job. But you see the capabilities, you see the abilities in her, and you feel that yes, she can be of value, of a valuable person in your organization. But then you are letting her know that she doesn't merit the job, all because you want to sexually harass her. That is not okay. So we see inequality right there. Then another aspect of that is she gets the job. There is another role in the same position. She gets the job, but then the wages, the man is also in the same position. There are two in the organization holding the same position, but the wages are different. The man wage is different from the woman's wage. It's also happening here in the United States. So the differences between the wages, but in the same job, the same qualities, the same qualifications, everything, but the wages are totally different. That's another thing. So we look at all these things and say, no, there's a need to continue raising awareness so people can understand that women are also part of this society. They can do better. And in most of the cases, if the women are not involved, they are not taken care of properly, the community will collapse. And in time to come, if people don't pay attention to that, many of the communities will collapse. So let's take, for example, before the ceasefire in Liberia in 2003, the women had to gather 14 years. 14 years. All of the meetings that were held in Ghana, in South Africa concerning the war in Liberia. Most of the people that were on the panel were men. Nothing happened. But when the women went together, something happened. We saw it live, we saw it happening. So we are saying that there are so many incidences where women have made impact in spaces like employment, workplaces, like school, like community, even in political positions. Women have made significant impact, but people don't see that because they are gender that have been marginalized and say, what women can do. We don't need women in these spaces. They don't make better decisions, but study shows that women make better decisions if they are involved in these positions.
Thank you. And to those watching, if you are just joining us, this is the program Focus on Liberia on Kia Radio 95.9. We will be announcing the numbers to call. If you want to join the conversation here and you are in the United States, the conference call number is 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791403 pound. That number is on the screen right now. And you can see it. You can call and we will be able to hear from you. The number is also posted in Facebook and YouTube. We will be getting to James Wakwe to call the local numbers on the radio. So James, get set there to call the numbers. Let's hear from our people. This is very important. And if somebody might be reluctant, they don't want to call because it is not their usual political show to lambast as political actors, to cry about corruption and to weep about hardship in Liberia. They don't want to call. Before you had a voice to cry about everything, a girl gave birth to you. That mother was a girl that gave birth to you today. We are talking about the challenges and the issues and the barriers that women and girls have to go through to bring us forth to have the life that we enjoy today. Without a woman, there will be nothing called Liberia, and there will be nothing called you in the first place. And so we have to remain united and collaborate, and in our individual ways play our respective roles in elevating, promoting, and empowering and standing with the girl child as we celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child. So I want to hear you talk. You might be that handsome boy who using your charm on the girl. And you might not be that powerful man in that office who's been misbehaving because you get fat out to give. And you don't want to support the girl child. You won't get something in return. You are on a barter system that was you many years ago. You gave me something, I gave you something. That behavior must stop. Because if our society must be strong, we have to empower our girls, for they're going to be the mothers of tomorrow. She said it, women make better decisions than men. I held the belief for a long time now and still hold this today that women are smarter. They are smarter than us men. And so to have a woman in your life, to have a sister, to have a daughter is the most beautiful thing you can think about. So pick up that phone and call. And let us hear from you. James, announce the numbers. I needed to tell them something because they let us cry about politics. We're not talking politics yet. Announce the numbers, James.
Yeah, so the numbers are 07779599590, 07779599590, 0881871670, 0881871670, 0881871670, 07779599590, 07779599590 are the numbers to call. Let's hear from you on the program Focus on Liberia. We are talking International Day of the Girl Child, and we are discussing issues surrounding girls' education, their rights, and as well as advocacy surrounding women empowerment as well. So let's hear from you. 07779599590, 07779599590, 0881871670 are the numbers to call, and let's hear from you.
James, I have a caller. Caller, your name and where you joining us from.
My name is Jackie Saye, and I'm joining you from New York.
All right, Jackie, it's good to have you. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Anthony, and hi to the panelists. Hi, Mrs. Bofa, and I applaud your commitment to this issue. Anthony, I'm driving, so forgive me. I had to stop on the side of the road, but this caught my heart, and I just want to say thank you to her, but also to state that all of these things, the advocacy and things, they will not work if the government is not willing to change. For example, if they start to, at the State University of New York here, they post salaries. Every level there's a salary. Every level there's a salary scale. So I think the government should start posting salaries for women and men to know if they're getting either the same money or commensurate with experience. I also think that, with the rape crisis in the country, and Liberia is not the only country, when we sat down and Milton CAJ introduced a bill to make rape a bailable offense, people never even blinked an eye when it happened. So I think that while she's doing the work and civil society joins her to do this work, the government itself must be willing to change. You cannot put a rapist in jail if the government is not willing to convict or punish that person. You cannot say to a boss, don't ask for sexual favors from an applicant, from a female applicant, if he is not punished. We need to start shaming these people and letting them know. The problem is that some of the women who give in, is because some of them are not qualified for the job. So they say, well, I might as well do this. I have kids to feed, or I need a job. But that should not be a prerequisite. So I think the more we shame those who are asking instead of blaming the victim, we will move forward. And and like I say, I applaud her for trying to start this movement and to continue to advocate and to educate our young women, for them to know that, Anthony, in this world now, publicity is the new oxygen. Everybody wants publicity, whether it's good or bad. So we must teach our young girls that decorum, how to present yourself, dignity of person and privacy should be the stand-off for everybody. It is hard when our young women to look at older women who are acting worse, when they should be doing something to mentor our young women. But those of us, like Mrs. Bofa, who are talking to them, to keep saying to them, if you need publicity so bad, let it be good publicity. And of course, I agree with her that people hardly ever tune in to educational shows. Anthony, you know that with our literary hour.
Yeah.
They hardly tune in when they are gossip or cussing, but that should not be the norm. So I think the mindset of the people need to change. Again, I say thank you to Focus on Liberia for always bringing these issues to the public. I thank you, Anthony, for this morning, and I want to say thank you to the panelists and to Mrs. Bofa. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
We appreciate your call, and as Jackie was speaking, something came to my mind that would be my recommendation to the entire world. I think in most places there should be a committee of maybe 2-3 persons that should decide employment, or should be making employment decisions, and women should, for the most part, chair such committees. And then it will be hard for a powerful man there to want to decide the fate, of a girl on the basis of exchange. And I think that is the recommendation I want the world to get today. If we have a committee of 4 persons, maybe you have 3 women, 1 man, or 2 men, 2 women, and then they have to look at the credentials and make a decision. If they can pull it to a vote, so be it. But where the HR manager or the minister is the one who decides and no one else, will have a say, that man now can go in the back and say, hey, you want a job? If you not succumb to me, you will not get a job. Maybe it will help. And our girls and our women will not have to go through what they don't really want to do just to get an opportunity to work in a professional space. James, let me hear from you. Do we have a caller there?
Let me announce the numbers again. We don't have for now. So 0077959 0777959 0881871670 0881871670 0777959 077959959 are the numbers to call. Let's hear from you. Once we have a call there, I'll let you know.
All right. Let's read a comment here from Abby Tyler. Abby Tyler is an affiliate here at Focus on Liberia. She is our health contributor. Abby writes that there are many professional women in and out of Liberia that are on social media. You can develop mentorship through that as well. Yeah, that is a very good suggestion. Mentorship as to how our sisters and our women can conduct themselves better. And you know, Damawa, Jackie said something that I also agree with. And this is something we are experiencing as a network because we are more about education and positivity. And so we don't get, the attention of our community, because the content we're putting out is for education, it's for upliftment, it's for empowerment. And for them, it's not spicy, it's not, it's not juicy, So they go for the G's, the fries, the disgusted, and the appalling stuff. That the thing that appeal to the wild emotion and imagination, of our people. And I don't know if we can make our society wholesome, if we can make our society more productive, with that kind of content. So yeah, we know that, but we cannot deviate from doing what should be the standard of our society and succumb to what should not be the standard of society. And we refuse to do so. And so we are encouraging everybody. Educational content. I mean, I'm not against socialization, but socialization must be modern. All right. It should not rob you of your dignity. It should not depict you in an entirely different way because you are conducting or communicating yourself on social media in a way that it is diminishing your image. It is communicating wrongly, your being, your sexuality as a human being. And I think that mentorship must be provided to our girls and to our sisters, because some of them, when they post, you see everything. I mean everything. And that's the one they want to post. Let me hear from you. And maybe I can hear from Jim, because Jim always on Facebook seeing this kind of posts. And I'm sure you can be liking some of those posts or just be giving those posts whappy. You just be getting whappy and pass.
All right. Yeah. So, like Jackie said,
Mhm.
it's important that if we really want to see ourselves moving forward as women, especially the face of social media, there are so many things that we need to consider: how we present, what we present,
Mhm.
and how we captivate our followers, viewers is very important. But then it still comes back to the old narratives, right?
Mhm.
And why these things are happening the way they are happening. If you find out, some of the women, or most of the women that present these kind of content, they have faced a lot of things in life. So they are like, to be happy, let me just post what I think will make me happy. But mentorship, coaching is very important in this case.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if we start to boost mentorship, encouraging people to talk to people, encouraging people to get advice from other people, they will go far. We stay here on social media, we compare ourselves to other countries like Nigeria, Ghanaians. If you see what they post and other people around the world, and you would start to see the difference. But why are Liberians posting the way they're posting? But yeah, they are getting viewers, they are getting followers, you know. And some people are modestly posting, they're still getting viewers and followers. So what is the gap in between there? What can we really find when it comes to boosting the educational content on social media for people to get interested and follow? So we have to change the narratives by continually creating awareness that, hey, if you don't hear this, these are things that are going to happen, and these are places that you're going to get stuck. So these are the numbers. Say the women, they don't do this. The women, they are not interested in this. But because you are not interested in this and you are not doing this, these are things that are happening to you. So maybe their mindset will change. And also women, we have to be role models of our young girls. We have to be role models because they are going to be in the future generation. So during those days, our mothers were saying, oh, these will be our future generation. And here we are today. So we have to model what we want our children to be when they grow up. But if we are modeling negative things and we expect our children to do better in the future, it's just going to be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mentorship is one thing, awareness is another thing. You cannot do anything without creating awareness. Even business. If you establish your business without awareness, nobody will know what you're doing. Nobody will know, what you can provide. So there are a lot of, like somebody, Abby said, there are a lot of professional Liberian women in Liberia and around the world. They can also step out to change the narratives of other women that are um, profoundly representing Liberians on social media.
Thank you. Thank you. James, you are a young man. For me, I'm an old man. Social media, you young people are big there. And the kind of thing you people spend time on. So talk to me. Our girls are in that space. They are very active. They post the most. What content you view, and how do you evaluate what you see on social media from our girls and women?
Well, I've always told people that social media has two sides, the advantages and disadvantages. And I see a lot of people, young people, particularly girls, they are using, they are making use of it, but there are still few women or girls who are still lacking and they still do not have a clear understanding about what, social media brings to their life, their value, the arts, and how it can help transform them. So, for example, me, one of the things I always look forward to on social media is getting opportunities like scholarships, workshop, trainings. For some of our journalists, these are places where you found some of these international fellowships, these international trainings, for you. So if you are not, following these things, you get left behind because you find your colleagues are participating in these trainings and activities to grow professionally, and then while you are there looking at something else that at some point do not bring any value to your life in your professional journey. There are girls who are using this rightly. I've worked with some girls group who are using this to say at a platform to reach out to girls, into advocacy, community engagements, and like Mana Bofa said. But there are also people who are using it to portray something different. Like you will see them where something very demeaning. You will see them, for example, they'll go on some talk show, some street show, say a lot of things about girls, about how their social life goes, about how they are loving to marry men. These are things we see. And the interesting thing about it, they don't feel ashamed to talk about it publicly that you are having an affair with another person's married man. So, and apart from that, People also use social media to share, nudes, tips, that are very not encouraging for the kids that are coming up. So what I think should be done is, while we have more people using social media for its intended purpose, there are people who are also using it for something else. So what we need to do is we need to have more awareness, like our guest has said, that we should have more awareness, educate these kids, especially the ones that are coming out of high school. Now you find out that if a girl or a boy just graduates from high school, and then entering college, they find social media to be something that they'll be on the entire day. These days, who are coming up, people will play lapa, will play tosh, the football and thing. You do not have these kids that are coming out doing it like before, because they'll rather be on a phone the entire day than to go out to play with their friends, and other things. So if we educate them, the parents who have a role, educate your child, the advantages and disadvantages of social media and how it impacts their life. Because if we do not do that, we have, even though the technology is important and it will help to transform our society, but we have it rather, impacting our people negatively than, giving its true essence of changing and transforming the new generation.
James, you couldn't have said it better. Social media technology, the internet as a whole, presents the most monumental opportunity in our lifetime. And I tell you this much, as a big fan of technology that follow it very religiously, it is just yet getting started. You have not seen anything yet. We are almost like on the beginning of artificial intelligence that we'll call AI. This thing's going to revolutionize the world, and that is why sometimes I think, what are our leaders doing? Are they sleeping? I mean, they just worrying about what next they should get from the budget. I mean, do you know how much billions you can make if you invest in technology and expose it in a positive way to your young generation and the young population? Do you know how much money you're going to make? We can use social media and expose Liberia to the tourism world, and we'll start generating billions in terms of revenue. And I just look at you, shake my head, and say, anyway, well, there we go again. But again, James, you said it right. Social media can be used in a very positive way to your advantage, and you can use it in a negative way to your disadvantage. One of our reporters in Liberia, Jeremiah Momba, in just this year of 2024, he has made 4 trips outside of Liberia, 100% paid for by the institutions that organize those events. He's gone to Germany, he's gone to Ethiopia. The other time he was in Egypt, and now he's on his way to Brazil in 1 year. All he did was using social media, looking for these events, applying, getting selected, and tickets, everything paid for per dime. He's getting the exposure. He's getting the education. And the next thing you know, he's a journalist. He might be reporting for one of the institutions. In fact, he is a reporter for climate change in the world. And he works for Focus on Liberia. He's making these trips. So my last word to our young people listening, please use social media positively for the most part. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch on G's and fries. So I'm not going to watch G and fries. But it shouldn't dominate your life. You are a social being, so you have to socialize. But I mean, the social life itself, you have to pay for it. It's not free. And so you need skills that will put you in a position to earn income so that you can be able to live a positive life. Let's get the final words from our guests. Damoa Bofa, your final words to our girls.
So I want to encourage everyone out there, parents, local authorities, the government, and everyone in the community. If you are a human, this is a call to action for everyone to gather around, engage, get involved into creating more awareness about the issues that women face and what solution do you have that you can help in curtailing some of these issues, some of these challenges. So you can be a part. Don't sit on the fence and say, yeah, it's all women thing. Let the women go ahead. But you can also be a part to make positive change on the lives of women. Thank you. And I'll be leaving you soon.
Yeah.
Again,
We are closing right now. So, folks, this is how we will come to the end of yet another edition of Focus on Liberia on Care Radio 95.9. We are closing the broadcast for today. Thanks to all of you who listening via radio and via the social media. As always, we will close with our song that says, "We are all Liberians," and bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. USA, all we want. Liberia, oh. USA, all we want. Liberia, be Liberian.